Sources. We all have written papers for a variety of classes, and the most challenging part about writing a paper can be finding sources. Maybe you are writing a history-related paper and need sources. I wanted to help you figure out what types of sources are good for your writing needs because this is a history channel. Let's talk about primary versus secondary sources. A primary source is any source or artifact from the time period you are studying. A secondary source is any source that is about the time period you are studying, but was written in a different time period, often long after that time period you are studying. For example, let me say that you are writing a paper about the American Revolution. There are lots of papers and primary sources that you could draw from for a paper about this topic. The safest primary source, and one of the most notable ones to talk about, would be the Declaration of Independence. And yes, that Declaration of Independence. I digress. Anyway, the Declaration of Independence is a primary source because it was written during the American Revolution by those living during the time period. Now, a good example of a secondary source would be David McCullough's book 1776. The reason it is a secondary source is because, number one, it discusses the time period you are studying, and two, it was not written in the time period that you are studying. Let's review. A primary source is any source or artifact from the time period you are studying, while a secondary source is any source that is about the time period you are studying but was written in a different time period. Know that depending upon what kind of paper you are writing, you may want to use more primary sources than secondary, or vice versa. Hopefully now you know about these two different types of sources and will think about what you want to use in your paper. And remember,